we're told from a very early age, concentrate. Concentrate on what you're doing. Look, you wouldn't have done that had you not concentrated. Peter, will you please stop looking out of the window and concentrate? What exactly does concentrate mean? Obviously, it's an activity we've got to do to ourselves. If we're not concentrating and we're told to concentrate, then we're being told to do something, which is, when you consider it, not natural. It's not natural to concentrate. Using the analogy of the clenched fist and the open hand, we're asked to be like this, to be a horrible, horrible disposition or position of concentration. Why are we told to concentrate? Parents ask us to concentrate. Teachers ask us to concentrate. Driving instructors ask us to concentrate. And so on. Why? So that there's a control element in it. You've got a position. You won't be annoying anyone else. You'll be quiet and silent. The body-mind is being restricted in your concentration. There's a tension involved in concentration. It's the activity of self-contraction, as Adidar would call it. Here's a picture of my teacher, Adidar Samraj. See that off? Some blue tack on the back. He has asked me to live like an open hand. So there's two dispositions, the clenched fist disposition and the open hand disposition. And I've got a word that I realized today can replace the word concentration. It's the word embracement. The body and the mind is inherently happy to embrace. No matter what. Look what I've got here. And each object I pick up, I am with. There's no avoiding. There's no avoidance. Now, I'm not concentrating. I'm embracing. Maybe much of what people do when they're told to concentrate is embracement. I'm not saying that they're not embracing. But the word concentrate implies this tightening up, this tension, this focusing, this don't listen to anyone else, don't be distracted by anybody else. But when you're in that disposition of embracement, you can be aware of what's going on. You see, the open hand is already aware. It's aware. There's an awareness. I could put mind to it. I could say, well, I could put labels to this being aware. I could say, you know, that's a bit damp there, or that's a bit hairy there, and there's a feeling between the fingers of softness there. And then when I touch the watch, there's a feeling of the strap. There's these feelings are different, but they're all coming from this place of embracement. Embrace the teeth. Don't do that. I was told that this person didn't like me sitting up straight in this position. Anyway, I'm not embracement. You see, this disposition hears, it's aware, it's conscious. This is the natural, inherent state of the body-mind. The body-mind is not. It doesn't like tightness and tensing and stress. That's so alien to the body-mind. The heart doesn't want to be constricted. The lungs don't want to be constricted. The organs and the organism works well when there's this openness. No contraction. No self-possession. So the word embracement, isn't that a good word? Embrace. Have you looked at a pair of scissors recently? Have you heard a pair of scissors recently? You see, the open hand disposition embraces all of life. There is nothing that the open hand disposition cannot embrace. Nothing. I work for someone in the afternoons, gardening and DIY and carpentry and all that. And I'm embracing everything he asks me to do. Occasionally I say, John, no, I'm not doing that. No, that's ridiculous. And I haven't got... No, I'm not. Consciousness considers, if you like, or when you are conscious and embracing, then you can consider. There's no reactivity. See, us adults are always full of reactivity due to not growing out. I don't like the word growing up. Growing out of our teenage, adolescent and childish tendencies. Adida has taught me in life there's two dispositions. The disposition likened to the clenched fist and the disposition likened to the open hand. The open hand loves, embraces, because it's already happy and joy and delight. There's so much energy in this body. Everyone is full of energy, everyone. However, because of this constriction, this contraction, and this thinking, we think otherwise. I was so pleased to meet my friend this morning. And we had a half an hour of pleasant intimacy. I was making love. The open hand disposition makes love. It is love. It's happiness, joy, delight, intimacy. It can't be anything other. Water cannot be anything other than wet. It just cannot. A lot of people don't realize or understand what the word inherent means. It's its natural state. Water is inherently wet. Cotton wool is inherently soft. Saliva is inherently wet. Teeth are inherently hard. There's a hardness there. And so on. The inherent qualities is their natural condition and disposition. So the body-mind is naturally open. So Haridas taught me in any moment, doesn't matter what the moment is that's arising, I can either be like this, doing self-contraction, doing self-possession, doing thinking, doing concentration, doing this tightness to the body, or I can be open, the body-mind, which I call I. That's what the body-mind is. So it's your choice. Now you've listened to this. Would you like to live like an open hand 24/7? Well, if so, you need to realize that you're doing this unnecessary activity. We were talking about electricity this morning. we have faith. We don't think about it. None of us think about the electric current that's going on right now in one's home, in one's circumstance. There's energy running right the way through, behind the walls, underneath the floorboards, above the ceiling, through the wire is this energy that we call electricity. Unless there's an electric cut, power cut. And it's amazing to think that just to a flick of a switch, the kettle begins, the water begins to boil, the light is turned on, the toaster works, the chargers are working to charge our appliances, the fire immediately. So that's in a split second, in the twinkling of an eye. The body-mind can go from this to this. And when it goes from this to this, we start blaming. You made me like that. You made me feel unhappy. You made me feel this way. The opposite, you made me happy. But no, it's the undoing of the clenched fist, or the stopping of the self-contraction. So there's this energy flowing right. It's within the body-mind. It just needs this opening. Everyone feels wonderful when the body-mind is like to an open hand. There's no getting away from that fact. Even if the body-mind is decrepit, even though if you're disabled, even though you might have an illness, this contraction is not necessary. We're superimposing self-contraction on everything we do. As a musician, I would love to have played as I played on my own at home in front of another person. I can do that now, but earlier on, I found it very difficult. I got so nervous, so anxious, all due to the self-contraction, which I didn't know about at that time. I was inflicting nervousness upon myself, anxiety. Adidar calls it the dreaded gombu. So when I was younger, I used to blame. It's my mother's fault, my teacher's fault, my this fault, da 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 da. I would get like this, not knowing that I was doing it, and blame others. Because it's inevitable. You blame others because we feel like this in front of them. If we go from this to this, it reminds me of a boy who was playing so beautifully on the piano, maybe about 14 or 15, and the father would sit outside listening to him. But as soon as the father walked into the room, the boy got self-conscious and his playing deteriorated. And so what we do in life is we stay away, don't we? We say, we notice this. The father might have said, well, every time I walk into the room, my son doesn't play so well, so that therefore I better stay outside. And then we don't have that love, intimacy with our loved ones, because we think it's our fault. And the child might think it's his fault. To be able to live as love, to live as happiness, joy, delight, intimacy, that's all I'm about. I'm not about this. I'm about understanding this activity and feeling beyond it. That's why Adidar says, remember me. Remember your loved one. Remember that which is already happy. Forget yourself and remember me. And all you can do then, you cannot do anything other than to live a life of happiness and joy and delight. By the grace, by grace. Have faith in grace. Will take you over. Be your true self. And then in that happiness, you can create. You can live to the full. Embracing every moment. I went into a charity shop just now. There are these 8 books, lovely books, Atlas of the World, and all kinds of wonderful pictures of the earth. And it was so heavy. And I thought quite pricey. It was in a charity shop. So I embraced the moment. I looked at the books. It was lovely. I embraced the assistant there. I said, any chance of reducing the price? He said, no. So I said, well, I'll check it out on the internet and see what the price is. So I'll do that in a moment. But everything's embraced. There is nothing that can't be embraced. What you might call difficulties of life, what you might call the problems of life. It can all be embraced. As I said, I visited my friend this morning and I noticed his key, the lock was loose. So I said to him, would you like me to repair that? His name's Jeremy and I love him dearly. I don't think there's any harm in mentioning names at times. And he said, yes, please. So I said, all I need is a Phillips screwdriver. You know how that became a Phillips screwdriver? With a cross tip. And I might need a flat one as well. So the external screws were, you had to use a Phillips, took the lock off the inside of the door, and it was loose. The screws beneath, the hidden screws if you like, which held onto the front piece, were loose. So I tightened those up. And Bob was your uncle? In 10 minutes or so, the job was done. All in happiness. He was happy to receive my offer. I was happy to gift him my ability to repair it. Isn't that wonderful? And I went into a shop and the till says cash and card, but it wasn't accepting any cash. I spoke to the shop assistant, his name's Frank, and he's Welsh. He said, what a wonderful accent you've got. And it wasn't a problem. It was just beautifully sorted out. He said, oh, I know what to do. I'll go to the other till and you pay on the other till. But then he explained that these tills are creating problems. And we both agree that these manufacturers can overdo something, taking away the simplicity. So I had a nice time with him. And who else did I have a nice time? With the fruitier. He gave me all these bananas for nothing because they were all ripe. I said, I can't take all those. Oh, yes, you can. Give them to your friends. So when I picked up my pullover, this pullover was repaired today. I said, would you like some bananas? I've been given all these bananas. So I offloaded some bananas and gave them some bananas. Now, you see, this is natural, normal, everyday living. And I'm sharing how to approach life without this nonsense. To go and embrace. Then everyone is your friend. You love everyone then. You make love. Making love all day long. Embracing. And this is all due, partly due, all due, partly due, certain percentage due to my great friend and lover, Adidar Samraj, who has given me the self-understanding required, because that's what's required to begin with, to go from concentrating in the head, mental activity, to this wonderful embracement, which you might already be doing. But it's good to understand what it is that you're doing when you don't feel really happy and joyful, which is our inherent condition. It's not a mood, by the way. It's not a mood. Oh, he's in a happy mood today, or he's in a mood. No, it's happiness with a capital H, which is unconditional. It's the natural, innate, inherent state. This is why it says in the Bible, become like children. Because the person who wrote that knows the inherent state of a child, which is already happiness. That's the key word, already. I've touched on quite a lot there. Thank you for listening. So, stop concentrating and embrace. You may already be embracing. You might call it concentrating. But it's when teachers and parents, etc., say, concentrate, stay there, focus. Put blinkers on your, like horses, blinkers on your eye, and what do you call them, these, so the horse isn't sidetracked, distracted, can't see anything. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.